She is the queen of the #1 girls' high school in Korea. She is kind and wealthy. Her annual sponsorship fee for the school enough to buy the entire school. Students all want to be friends with her. Some people even paid a high price to buy her deskmate's seat. However, among a group of rich girls, chose the poorest girl in the school to be her deskmate. Everyone was curious. What magic did this girl in the school uniform, what magic she has? The girl's name is Sul-ji. She had no sense of presence since she was a child. When she was 5, she went on a school-organized outing. The teacher forgot on the beach because he was not wearing a school uniform. From then on, she became a missing child and was sent to an orphanage. In the orphanage, she also had no sense of presence. Her classmates wouldn't remind her to go to dinner. The aunt in the kitchen never remembers to leave her food. She lived to be 18 years old, hungry every day. Although he was an adult, but because of his orphan status, he couldn't find a normal job. Fortunately, a senior was kind enough to help them introduce part-time jobs. It turned out that this part-time job actually made them use fake IDs to buy prescription drugs. However, it was this experience that changed the fate of Sul-ji. After a mission, the senior suddenly asked about Sul-ji's dream. Sul-ji said with a confused look that he had not thought about this problem. The senior sneered. Then he took out a prescription and gave it to Sul-ji, and said it was a good thing that rich people in Jiangnan were buying. And finally, he said meaningfully to Sul-ji, "If Sul-ji doesn't want to live like him, then study hard from now on." I don't know why. These words came from a senior who was not serious. Sul-ji found it particularly convincing. So Sul-ji tried to study hard, raised the grade from last to 15th in the school. As grades go up, Sul-ji found out that the cafeteria aunt had started keeping food for her. She even serves a love supper when she stays up late. This treatment can't help but make Sul-ji sigh. If you take the first place in the exam, will there be better treatment? In order to study harder, Sul-ji took out the pill given to her by her senior and ate it in one bite. These pills were really good, and she had incredible concentration, and his mind was unprecedentedly clear. In this state, she directly won the first place in the school in the second exam. At this time, the school bullies who often ostracized her did not dare to touch her again. After experiencing the benefits of being #1, Sul-ji worked even harder to maintain his grades. At the same time, she became more and more dependent on the efficacy of the drug, so much so that she used her part-time job to hide a lot of drugs. Soon after, the orphanage helped Sul-ji find his biological father. Sul-ji quit her part-time job to reunite with her father in Seoul. 4 months later, Sul-ji transferred from the countryside to South Korea's top-ranked girls' high school. On the first day of school, she wore her original red school uniform, dragging her suitcase to report to school. As soon as she entered the school, she noticed that the atmosphere here was completely different from the school she used to go to. The head teacher just glanced at her and told her to find the classroom by herself. Sul-ji drags his suitcase around the school, asking for directions. But in this high school where everyone carries a Chanel bag, no one paid attention to her transfer student from the country. Sul-ji accidentally crashed into the auditorium where the opening ceremony was being held. The auditorium was in chaos, and even an old lady was selling flowers. While everyone was driving away the old lady selling flowers, a girl suddenly stood up and offered to buy all the flowers Sul-ji stood by and watch the girl buy the flowers. Then the girl strode onto the stage. The hall, which was noisy just now, became quiet immediately. The girl claims to be Jae-young, and then she started the opening ceremony in English. The audience, including the teachers, listened quietly. Sul-ji immediately understood this scene. Jae-young is definitely at the top of this high school pyramid. However, what Sul-ji did not expect was Jae-young is actually in the same class as her. The head teacher greeted her kindly and let her pick any deskmate she wants. And all the people in the audience cheered up and looked forward to being chosen by Muse. Jae-young twirls around the classroom like a queen, carefully examining every pair of scorching eyes. Finally, in everyone's expectation, Jae-young is sitting next to this abrupt and unremarkable transfer student. After class, a few people blocked Sul-ji. They made separate bids to Seolji to buy her place. Seolji is unmoved. All she cares about is who's closest to the podium. Finally, she agreed to switch seats with a girl sitting in the middle of the classroom. After the deal was completed, Jae-yi suddenly barged in to find a table mate for dinner. The girl looked at Jae-yi excitedly. I thought I was Jae-yi's new desk mate. Unexpectedly, Jae-yi took Seolji's hand